James, did you see all those comments on not today's episode, but the week before? I think it's episode 20. Do you know when you said you could beat up Zuckerberg?
Yeah.
Everyone said he'd batter you.
I did, yeah.
What?
Yeah. Yeah, I did. Yeah, no, I do want to reply to that.
Yeah, I think we should.
I do want to write. Did you see those comments, Joe?
No, I didn't see them.
What did I say exactly? Because I can't remember exactly what I said.
I think you said sort of out of all the tech bros, you think that Zuckerberg's the one you could take.
Yeah.
And if he was sort of giving you jip, you wouldn't mind.
Yeah,
you know,
I stand by that. There was a lot of people that were like, he's been training jiu-jitsu for... Right, so what? Like, he's going to cuddle me and pull me down to the ground. Also, there is this thing, like, there is a class thing, right? I grew up where I grew up with the people I grew up with. I'm not saying I'm a tough guy at all whatsoever, because I'm definitely not. Compared to all the people I know in my life, I'm the weakest out of all of them.
But you're probably more streetwise than, say, me. I mean, many are.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I don't give a fuck how many jiu-jitsu lessons Zuckerberg has had. Do you know what I mean? Like it's just.
And I can also say, like, the clue is in the word lessons.
But also,
someone's had lessons is not hard.
Exactly. Also, I don't think that's something to be proud of. I don't think that's a bar to like be like, oh well, he's tough. Well, he could. I wouldn't mess with him. He could probably knock out Mark Zuckerberg. I am saying I am not tough at all whatsoever. I still fancy my chances against Zuckerberg very confidently.
Yeah.
I don't think the geezer's had a punch to the face. When you've been on the wrong end of an arse kicking as much as I have, it does sort of, you know, I reckon one bop to that bloke's head, straight in the nose, he wouldn't know what day of the week it was. He'd be like, oh no, I've not been in this situation before. And that's it. I'm not saying I'm a tough guy. I'm just from where I'm from. I've been beaten up enough times to know, do you know what? I'd rather, if I was given a choice, I'll go, yeah, and I'll take Zuckerberg.
What's the Mike Tyson quote? Everyone's got a plan until they get punched
Everyone's
in the face.
got a plan until they get punched in the face.
Well,
that is true.
That's what this reference to his lessons puts me in mind of that quote.
That is
like,
true.
Everyone's had lessons until they,
you know, maybe should have brought this up.
Buckley.
Maybe should have brought this up in the last episode where I was bragging about my Irish heritage. There was a really great story about my Granddad Paddy, who was shorter than me. Wasn't a tall guy. He must have been about 5'8", if he was lucky. And he spent a lot of time. He married an English woman and spent a lot of time of his life in Ireland, then in London working, then back in Ireland. It's a whole complicated thing. My lineage, to be honest with you, like my past story. Like, because my dad's English, but he also grew up in Ireland. Like, there's do you know what? I've not even asked questions. I've just been like, right, sure.
It's like the history of a family that's trying to sort of lose a trail or something.
It's a little bit, yeah, sure.
yeah.
Like my cousins who grew up in England, they've got Dublin in their passport and stuff like that because that's where they were born, right?
Yeah.
But I've never bothered really sort of tugging at that thread. But there's a really good story. Granddad Paddy was in a pub in Ireland, where they felt that his accent had become a bit English.
Oh, okay.
And I'll be honest with you, for the first sort of 8 or 9 years of my life, I found it really difficult understanding what he was talking to me about.
Because it was so Irish.
It was very Irish to me, to my ear.
Yeah.
But apparently when he went back to Ireland, he sounded very English.
They were like, oh, hello.
Yeah, so he got a bit of stick for that. And there was one great big bloke giving him stick all night long.
Yeah.
And he put his pint down, turned around, and smacked him in the face, and he went down. And that was like you say, everyone's got a plan until they get punched in the face.
Yeah, exactly.
There we go.
So,
Joe, do you reckon you could take Zuckerberg or any of the other tech
Joe
bros?
could take Zuckerberg. Joe's a maniac, by the way.
Joe's
a maniac. We used to talk about stuff on the In-Betweeners set where we were like, who do you reckon's the hardest out of us four? Imagine that conversation. And we were all like, Joe's insane. Joe's terrifying.
I'm quite determined. I mean, I think that, unless there's something about, I mean, I've heard about this jiu-jitsu stuff. I mean, what?
Yeah.
Who cares? Like,
Yeah.
what are you talking about?
No, I think you'd
I
scratch
mean, that's
and go mental Joe. I think you'd just
Yeah.
go mental Joe on
I
people.
think if it got to the point where we were fighting,
Yeah.
like I'd be so well motivated for that fight.
I
that-
remember when we were making the first series, like we all got on well straight away, and I really liked you. And compared to me, you were quite posh. But I don't think that's anything to brag about. And I described you as I remember talking to you. I was like, Joe, do you know what you remind me of? You remind me, right, of those officers in the trenches in World War One that have probably got their, I don't know, commission or their stripes because they were sort of quite well bred.
Yeah.
But I would still follow you. I know you'd be the first over the top. I know you'd get your little revolver out and listen to the whistles and just go, right, men, come on, follow me.
I think,
So even though you were quite posh, I was just like, I still think you get your hands dirty. I still
Thank you very
think
much.
you'd get involved.
well, I think I do have quite a strong sense of duty. So
Yeah.
if I'd been ordered to attack Zuckerberg,
You reminded me of
I'd-
George from Blackadder Goes Forth a
yes,
little bit. Yeah.
yeah. Yeah, I mean, this idea of like, oh, he's hard now.
Mm.
It just makes me think of David Brent. Yeah,
Against karate.
Just makes me think of that.
Yeah.
And
this is
it's
big boy
let's
shit.
be honest, it's like it's a nerd who's never been hard,
Yeah,
and he's
exactly.
now like, I've got some money now,
Yeah.
so I'll try and buy
Yeah.
the stuff I didn't have.
Yeah.
I'll tell you what those things were: hard,
Yeah.
cool,
Popularity. Girls.
access to photos of girls. What, you're going to set up an entire company just so you can see pictures of girls? Yes.
Yeah, boy.
Yeah, I am.
So those of you in the comments, I'm not because I don't want to fucking start something here at all whatsoever.
I am trying to start something.
No, I don't mind starting something with Zuckerberg at all. I just don't want to start like that. I'm trying to sort of tell people I'm tough or anything. I'm not. That's clear. We're all very aware of that. I'm not trying to be anything
we're not,
I'm not.
One of the ways of
just
signaling
saying
that we're not tough is by saying, if for us to beat somebody up, that person would have to be so utterly feeble that we're talking about sort of Mark Zuckerberg character.
That's it. Yeah.
That's all we're saying.
Yeah. And if you're commenting, congratulations, you could take him as well. I don't think there's anyone else that couldn't take Zuckerberg. My wife is, I think she's 5 foot. She'd knock the fuck out of him.
Yeah. As for this kind of, I don't know, these kind of hype men or whatever. I mean,
I think they're either Zuckerberg bots.
They sound like bots to me.
And also, do you know what? Do you know what's worse than being weak and feeble Zuckerberg? Sucking up to him.
I know. I mean, yeah.
Oh no! Oh, I reckon you could take him, Mark. You did all that jujitsu.
Yeah, it's really.
Come on, get a grip of yourself.
It's not a good look. Get out of Zuckerberg's ass.
Just looking at a picture though, he's quite rich these days. Have you seen
Oh,
him?
whatever.
It
He's
doesn't
got.
matter.
So he's got a nutritionist or something.
Yeah,
Like,
exactly.
whatever. I'm not impressed by
It doesn't
shopping.
matter.
It's shopping. If you're rich, every activity is just shopping.
I do genuinely.
If you're
think,
rich and you're thin, what happened is you went shopping for I'd like to be thin. I'm just not impressed by it.
I do genuinely
Whatever.
think like if you grew up in the ends, right?
Oh, yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
To just sort of going to Harvard and then getting fit, like I do. Like I was born into this, Zuckerberg. All right. Come down here. Join me down here. Come down here. See how you get on. See how you'd survive. You wouldn't last 2 seconds.
Joe and James, fact up!
Joe, I don't know about you, mate, but I fancy doing a little podcast.
Let's do a little pod.
I fancy doing a little podcast.
Which one do you want to do?
We'll
Should
do
we
this.
the Ant and Dec one. I had a little go at that last time, didn't I? Wasn't convincing.
Should we do the Ant and Dec one? I've not listened
I'm
to it.
not good at pranks. No, what I mean is I tried to do the tea thing.
I've not listened to the Ant and Dec podcast. I will just say this, though. Right? The reason I'm doing a podcast is because I can't get on fucking television. Okay?
Yeah.
Because there's people like Ant and Dec that take up all the television time.
Yeah.
So I'll go, all right, I'll go and do my little podcast then, and I'll keep myself to myself. Now they're doing a fucking podcast as well. Greedy little Geordie bastards.
It does remind me a little bit of it's a sort of it's a sort of landlords actually. Like when the British were in Scotland, like were the English were in Scotland.
Yeah. Well, they're gonna. What do you want, Ant and Dec? Do you want to have sex with my wife?
It does feel a bit like that. Honestly, there's bits of Scotland where like the English were there and they'd taken all the good land, and the sort of native Scots couldn't do anything, so they had to basically go down onto the foreshore and collect seaweed and make stuff out of the seaweed. But the seaweed stuff started becoming quite profitable, and then the English were like, "Oh, we do? Yeah. No, that's ours as well."
Yeah, thanks. Yeah.
And that's what it feels like. And what is that film with Mel Gibson? And it's like
Braveheart.
that, isn't it? Where he's got his arse out, and so it's like that. We moon you, Ant and Dec.
Absolutely.
We moon you, and don't you moon us?
Could you deck Ant and Dec?
Well, this is interesting because there was
a thing.
Would it be a paintball thing? Because
that's
because I know that at least one of them is very vicious when it comes to, and someone was blinded. I saw that when I was a kid, and I thought,
wasn't it?
It was PJ and Duncan, and I remember the transition from PJ and Duncan to Ant and Dec. I remember that happening, and for a while they were trying to get people to call them Ant and Dec, not PJ, and they've fair play, they've done that, they've achieved that.
Yeah.
But that, because it was a sort of cautionary tale on Biker Grove. But I thought the cautionary tale was, don't get involved in this new trend called paintballing. So I thought paintballing was like glue sniffing. I thought it was like, it's something that all kids are doing. They think it's cool. But is this cool? Is this cool, kids? He can't even sing anymore. But actually,
am I cool?
Yeah, I honestly thought, yes, exactly. I thought it was that. I thought it was like, don't get involved in paintballing.
Yeah.
Like, I thought the paintballing was like, it was like we've closed down. The police have seized packages of paintballs that were coming over in a shipping container, bound for a forest in Thetford. Luckily, they will now not be used.
On the 9 o'clock news, we've had another update on the paintballing incident.
Yeah, the paintballing incident. That's honestly what I thought it was. I thought that the Geordies had invented paintballing, and it was this thing that was going on up there, and we had to put a stop to it. And actually, it was just don't take your mask off or whatever.
I would just like to say that I like Ant and Dec.
I like him as well.
And I love seeing him on my TV. And fair enough.
On TV?
Fair enough.
Yeah.
You've done very well.
Yeah.
Can you just let us lot who've been elbowed out of the TV game to have our little podcast corner?
That's all we want.
That's all we want.
Don't come down to our little cottage and set the thatched roof on fire and then gallop away.
Yeah. I don't think I'd be able to have them though. Nah, they're Geordies, aren't they?
That's what I mean. Like they've lived a bit.
Yeah, that's it.
They've lived a bit.
They're Geordies.
Fair enough. So somewhere between Zuckerberg and Ant and Dec is your level.
It doesn't get much tougher than Geordies.
Because they're Geordies, if we fought them, would they both have their tops off?
I hope so.
Well, that's what I'm what I've sort of think.
That's what I think about. When I'm in bed with my wife, that's what I think about.
Yeah. Just as a means to an end.
Otherwise, I'm not going to
I know. You've got to do what's necessary to...
I wouldn't have children if I wasn't thinking about Ant and Dec.
Well, exactly. It's not like... It's a means to an end. It's just a means to an end. It's like, just do what you got to do.
Exactly.
And...
Who is it that said just lie back and think of Britain? I think it was Queen Victoria. No, I think that's here's a little fact up thing for you, Queen Lily May. I think it's a misconception. Apparently, because Queen Victoria was quite stern,
and also didn't believe in lesbians.
Didn't believe.
She didn't believe. She says it's not possible. She just says it's not possible.
What was she doing? Was she like, because they just?
Yeah, she was like, well, no, it doesn't make sense.
But
doesn't make sense.
Like, apparently, because his fella died, didn't
he
is
died?
It Albert?
Yeah, and she became a right old misery guts after that.
Apparently so.
Get back out there, love. Get back out there.
I've heard.
Go on.
Exactly. Well, yeah, get yourself out there.
Get yourself out there. I'll take you out. Come out with me.
Head down to Yates.
I'll take you out.
See what the action is.
Soon find you a man.
Apparently, that was a misconception, and that she wasn't like that.
She was actually a massive laugh.
And she was quite humorous. And because there was a quote where someone asked her about her wedding night.
Yeah.
And she said, I just laid back and thought of England.
Okay.
Because like sex is so abhorrent.
Yeah.
But she's actually been quoted saying that she quite enjoys it and doesn't mind having it off.
So that's the real quote.
Yeah.
They said, what do you think of your wedding night? She said, I quite enjoyed it. I don't mind having it off.
Yeah. But I think Queen Victoria was all right in the end, and she wasn't this sort of serious, miserable woman. But I think she's been painted differently in history.
She looks quite. I've actually got a picture of Queen Victoria.
Well, there's that picture of her just sort of sat there looking like,
I've got that picture, and I like it because it's like, at least I'm in a better mood than she is. And in a way, maybe that was her job. I quite like somebody being like, I'll be the miserable one.
Was you looking up some stuff there about Queen Victoria, Lily Mae?
Well, what I actually was doing was looking at who the quote "lie back and think of England" was associated with, and it was actually associated to Lady Hillingdon.
Hillingdon.
Yeah.
Who's that?
She was just basically married to a banker and businessman Charles William Mills. So I think she was banker. And so I think they were just sort of in high society, and that's where they believe the phrase originally. But obviously, these things are hard to trace.
Because of course, it would make sense for a monarch, because you are literally thinking of your country as you're trying to produce an heir. So it's literally, think of the succession. Think of
apparently it came from a diary entry of hers.
But
maybe she said lie back and think of the Bank of England, because it was I don't know why that would just think of all the coins. Think of £1 coins.
Well, that wouldn't work for him. That would She's not going to get what she wants out of that situation.
No.
I mean, it would work too well for him.
I know. He'd be like, oh well, no.
Oh God!
Yeah. Oh no! Government bonds.
Oh, pound notes. Guineas.
Red Needle Street. I don't know.
Stupid. Anyway, don't say stupid.
No, I know, but
no, because then we would have had about 50 comments then saying how stupid we are, right? The idea is to let them tell us we're stupid, and we get some traction, and it becomes a thing online. We're not supposed to call ourselves out. Let other people say we're stupid.
We're meant to provoke them and then fight back. So we're not.
The only thing I've disagreed with is the Zuckerberg thing. Every other criticism that we've had, every other comment of criticism, you go, yes. Anyway, welcome to Joe and James Fact Up.
Hello.
This is a podcast where each week we'll be bringing facts to one another, ones that we deem interesting, and our policy is the more interesting it is, the more true it is. We don't verify these facts. We'll dig into the weird things that you'd like to think are true, but don't want to research in a segment that we call Fact Check. So if you do want to send us your facts, our email is hello@joeandjamespod.com. Our WhatsApp is 07822034330, and you can follow us on our socials @joeandjamespod, and you can watch all our episodes in full, in glorious colour, in Technicolor on YouTube. All you've got to do is search for Joe and James Fact Up. Now, let's get Fact Up. Okay, we've got some correspondence here, Joe. You guys have been sending in some Fact Up stuff for us to discuss, and we've got a little message from Matthew from our Fact Up form.
Use the form.
Which I don't feel like I talk about enough. Yeah. There is a form. How do people get to that form?
It's in the description. There's a link to the form in the description.
So
those who know.
Nice.
The form is it's the long number on your card, and
we just need your postcode, long number of your debit cards,
mother's maiden name,
and the security code at the back.
Name of first pet.
Yeah,
and
mother's maiden name.
We just use it. Yeah, and a few things might pop up on your account, but it's ignore it.
It'll be stuff that you want to see. Yeah. Anyway, we've had a message from Matthew. Matthew says, "Hi, Joe and James. Not a fact, more of a question. Absolutely fine. My wife asked me the other day, do you think more things have been pulled or pushed in the history of the world? For example, you can push out a shit. You can pull on a night out. Well, I know what I've done more in that situation. Also, you can push.
I know I've done more on a night out.
Also, you can push and pull a door.
Yes.
Think about all the things you push and pull. What do you think you have done the most, and what has been done most in the world's history? Definitely pull. Push.
Yeah. Oh, I love a man who knows his mind.
Push. Definitely push. Definitely push. Definitely push.
Push.
Because you got to remember, there was a couple of 100,000 years before a door was even invented.
Yeah, to pull you need a handle. Although you could
pull.
To pull you
I
need.
don't know what the difference is anymore.
Pull a rope.
No, there's it's definitely push. It's definitely push.
You can push a boulder up a hill.
Yeah.
So you think because pull implies a level of technological advancement, if minor, push, you could.
You're always pushing.
You're pushing. What you're pushing? This saber-toothed tiger,
or a stone, or a rock, or something.
Cave paintings. In cave paintings,
go on.
Do you ever see pushing or pulling?
They're usually just standing around.
They're standing around, aren't they?
It's usually a yak.
Yeah, they liked painting.
It's always pictures of yaks.
It is, isn't it? They're quite good, aren't they? Cave paintings.
They're actually Pilkington.
Oh, the yaks, are they?
He's always like.
What does he say about American buffalo or American bison? Decide what you want to look like.
Yeah. Have you ever seen one? Jesus.
Yeah. So
weirdest looking things.
They are. Yeah.
It's definitely push.
But let's just go through. Let's go through our days today.
And then
compare it to the life of a caveman. And then just come up with our own.
Don't talk about the days today. I feel like it's 50-50 today. But
you're saying in history.
In history, the hinge of a door.
Well, but as Matthew's covered, you can also pull a door. I mean, push a door. Why is it really?
I don't know. It's really confused.
It's getting the better of us, isn't it?
But it is. But the door. What the door? 10,000 years? I'm being generous there.
But let's just think about. Let's think about the life of. I think Roman. Let's think about the life of a Roman.
Go on.
So
yeah, but they had stuff, didn't they? They had a bit of technology. They had ropes. They had things to bind and.
So we've spoken about wine. They'd pull the cork out of the bottle.
Yeah.
They would.
You'd pull a string of a bow.
Pull on an oar in their galleys.
Yeah.
I'm
going a little bit before that. Like when you watch But
you're saying within humans, you're not talking about like bacteria. And
I think you said that.
They push
the history of the world.
The world's history.
Yeah.
So by that we mean.
I don't think
Homo sapiens.
I don't think. No, but the history of the world.
Well, the history of the world. We're in all sorts of trouble.
Exactly.
We're talking about like brachiosauruses. And...
Yeah, I don't think a T-Rex was pulling anything with those arms. Do you know what I mean?
But it was pushing out.
But it might have pushed some stuff. Yeah, it was pushing out a turd.
Well, in you're right. If we look at Jurassic Park,
to quote Goldblum, that's a whole lot of shit.
That's a big pile of shit. Yeah. You're right. And it pushes the car. It pushes the car over a bloody waterfall.
It does. Yeah.
And they're going, oh no! But it's all right in the end.
It is all right because they're getting that tree
and maybe
and the branch
thank God they can't pull because
they
vision based on movement as well.
Although, didn't it pull down the fence once the electric came off? It sort of like put its hand.
It kind of went. I know it didn't really. I'm not sure. The raptors can't. They can open doors.
They push them.
Well, they did sort of.
They did work the handle out. They pulled.
Well,
it was all pushing. That was all pushing.
Down.
So if
it was pushing, and then it came in.
They pushed the handle down, and
and it comes horrible thing.
And they breathed up the glass
horrible
pane for a bit.
Critter, isn't it? Oh, don't do it.
Did that?
Horrible little gang of fucking little raptors.
Yeah.
Fuck me.
Definitely
nightmares.
Definitely pushed. It's definitely pushed, Matthew. It's definitely pushed in the history of the world.
I'm still not quite sold on this idea that like pulling is. I can't really get it in my head. What like?
Can I add something into the mix?
Yes. Go on.
And I don't want to say this, but I just think.
Was it Germania or something?
No, I just think figures-wise, it might put something in. You can decide whether you think this counts.
Yeah.
What about pulling yourself off? Because I do think I think that changes the maths.
Well, listen, if you're if I'm a cross section of the human race, that does tip the scale a little bit.
That's true. That's true. That's not. Yeah.
Yeah.
No, that's true. That's true.
I've pulled myself off
more than
1,000 times more than I've had children, at least.
Yeah, and also people were pulling. weren't they? People were still getting off with each other. Even
yeah, but that's not the physical. That's just.
but you can put on a well, but they've included it. Figurative.
I'm just well, the history of the world. There's more pushing going on than pulling. The history, it's the world's history. I'm reading what Matthew said.
I know. So pulling doors. You can pull on things without them. Is there anything you pull on in nature? A vine.
But again, like then you talk about you have to then go to the monkey. And in the history of the world, that's still very recent.
I don't know what you mean by you then have to go to the monkey.
Well, because they're on the vines, aren't they? There was nothing before the monkey that was swinging on vines or pulling them. They're not even pulling them in that sense.
So we are literally doing the history of the world as in Big Bang.
It says here. Yeah, it says here.
Well,
do you think... Right,
for a while, nothing.
Here is what...
Really?
Yeah, here's what Matthew's saying. Do you think more things have been pulled or pushed in the history of the world?
Okay, fine.
That is a direct quote from Matthew.
Okay, fine. So what we're saying is like
pushed.
A big blob of molten whatever it is at the beginning of the world. And that's even as soon as that begins to cool, start the clock. Who's pushing? Who's pulling? And then we go all the way up till now. And for a long time, it's just...
Like I would even maybe argue meteorites or something. Or do you know what I mean?
Well, they're pushing.
But are they being pulled? They're also being pulled
by our gravity.
They're being pulled as much as they're being pushed.
Oh my God, gravity's pulling us all.
Gravity's pulling.
Fuck.
The continual pulling of gravity since the Earth's formation. There we go. We got to the bottom of it. We've gone right back to its logical conclusion.
Saying in the end, it's
no, is it pull? No, I was saying push. No, it's got to be pull.
Everything's pulled. Everything's...
Oh no!
No, it's all right. No, but it's all right. Listen, like you approached it as a scientist. But you had a dearly
I went where the information took me. And I think it's pull. And I think it's pull. Purely because of gravity.
Because of gravity.
Yeah. Everything's constantly being pulled.
Brilliant answer.
We're right now. Everything in this room, everything on this planet is being pulled right now.
It's a fabulous answer.
Wow.
And a good prompt from Matthew and wife of Matthew. Not named, but I'm not reading anything into that. I'm just I'm not saying that he's trying to write her out of history or something. I'm just saying that like it's
like Curly's wife.
Just she's not named. Just
Me and my wife argue about this all the time. Her name doesn't matter.
I'm not saying there's anything sinister in this, or that she doesn't have a name, or he's had a removed from the register or something. I'm not saying that.
But yeah, no, I was pushed. But now that I think about it, we are constantly being pulled all the time. Otherwise, we'd just be floating around, wouldn't we?
We would. There'd be no entropy at all. And what a fucking state.
Entropy. So,
what is that from? Something?
It's from Partridge.
Entropy.
I think it's when him and Lynn have a little car crash. I might be wrong.
That sounds familiar.
What's the episode where and Lynn and he's like, your airbag went off.
You've got minor women's whiplash.
You've got minor women's whiplash. But I think as they're crashing, he's like got his seatbelt and he goes, entropy. Right. That was a big debate. Thank you very much, Matthew. We went everywhere with that. We went everywhere.
Good. It was good. I think we almost went mad, but then we brought it back again.
We did.
Like Descartes.
Is it time for my fact?
Yeah, I think so.
We have been given free reign this week, where we don't have a theme.
Yeah.
And before we started making this podcast properly, I was just jotting down things in my notes on my phone about weird facts that
I've been doing that a bit as well.
That I'd learn about organically.
Mm-hmm.
And one of the ones that I wanted to talk to you about was the gay bomb.
Yeah. Well, we've touched on this briefly.
Yeah, but it was a genuine thing that the military. I honestly thought it was like in the 60s or the 50s You know, like the American military went mental, like just after the Second World War.
They went a bit mental.
They were like, we better start giving our soldiers loads of drugs and stuff like that.
They did go fucking mental, I think.
And they did do really dubious stuff because they were like, well, you've signed up to the army, so that means we now own you, and it doesn't matter what. They were like infecting people with syphilis without their.
Yeah, there was a little bit of too much of their old testing.
Yeah.
And sometimes with people who didn't really know they were being.
No, they didn't know. They had absolutely no idea.
Yeah.
One of the things, but I'm going all the way back to 1994 here, Joe. In 1994.
Retro cut.
In 1994, like I say, I thought this was the 50s or something, where they were like, maybe we could make.
Oh, I see. So this stuff was still going on.
So the idea was essentially if we could drop some, or if we could turn the enemy army gay, they'd all be so obsessed with getting off of each other that they wouldn't put up much of a fight.
Yeah.
Ludicrous now to think something like that. Absolutely insane.
Well,
we were talking about it earlier. It was like saying men and women can't work in the same. Straight men and women can't work in the same office together.
It's madness.
Because they will inevitably start having sex.
Well, it's like saying that if a man's gay, he's not able to have any relationship to another man other than trying to immediately begin having sex with them.
That's it. Straight to the bum.
Yeah.
That's what they do. Obviously, we know that that's silly now in 2026 to think that. But back in 1994, we had a different attitude.
Yeah.
In 1994, scientists at the
1994.
I know, it's insane. Scientists at the Wright Laboratory, part of the US Air Force in Ohio, submitted a proposal for what they called a non-lethal chemical weapon. The idea was to develop a chemical agent that would supposedly make enemy soldiers sexually attracted to each other, disrupt unit cohesion and morale, and reduce combat effectiveness without killing anyone. So their heart was sort of in the right place. It was like,
what's a peaceful?
Yeah.
What's a peaceful way of?
The media later dubbed it the gay bomb. It was part of a broader non-lethal weapons study.
Yeah.
The proposal was included in a report titled "Harassing, Annoying, and Bad Guy Identifying Chemicals." The Air Force.
Is that an acronym of some kind? Harassing and
no, I don't know what that. I don't. Yeah. The Air Force was exploring unconventional psychological and chemical tactics during the 1990s. Other bizarre ideas in the same report included chemicals that would cause severe bad breath, attract swarms of stinging insects, induce flatulence.
I mean,
just be like, oh, they've got wind.
I
suppose they were just sort of like because like if you're an athlete, for example, like 1% can make the difference.
Yeah,
like if you can get a 1% edge.
Yeah.
So they were just sort of like, imagine if they were just sort of like really farty. That would put you off if you're like trying to take a shot and you're like, oh god, I got it. Like I've been in situations where I've been like, oh, if I could just let this fart go.
But also, if everyone else was farting, it would be unpleasant.
Another one was to make skin extremely sensitive to sunlight. So the gay bomb wasn't a standalone project. It was one of many speculative concepts. There was $7.5 million requested in funding over 6 years to research possible compounds. However, the proposal was never funded. No such weapon was ever developed, and it never progressed beyond the proposal stage that we know of.
Well, yeah, isn't it?
That we know of. Because I got to say, since the 90s, there's been a lot more gays, Joe.
There's been a lot more farting as
There's
well.
been so much. There has been so much gassy gays going around.
Yeah, it's if there's one thing that we can point to.
But it became public in 2005 when the documents were obtained by a Freedom of Information Act requested by the Sunshine Project, an organisation monitoring biological weapons research. They call them. Well, no, we're called the Sunshine Project. Yeah, we're all good.
Yeah.
It won an IG Nobel Prize.
Oh, an Ig Nobel Prize.
Right, that's,
Yeah. This is this kind of
right.
It's the equivalent of a
The
Razzie.
Razzies, yeah. In 2007, the proposal earned the IG Nobel Prize for Peace, a tongue-in-cheek award given for unusual or amusing scientific ideas. And then also, scientists say it was not scientifically plausible. There's no known chemical that could reliably alter sexual orientation. Human attraction is not something that can be triggered in that way. And the idea reflected outdated and simplistic assumptions, right? And I thought that going in when I heard about this thing, I did not know that it was going on in the 90s.
It's extraordinary that it was going in the 90s.
And I think that's the most interesting part of my fact.
That because I think as late as that,
1994 was the
is remarkable.
Was the proposal. That was when Definitely Maybe came out.
Yeah.
Anyway,
and if you play that album backwards,
it says
it's just got a fart noise. I don't know. No.
Play it forwards. No, it's my favorite album. It's my favorite album. It's my favorite album. I love that album from my favorite band. So there you go. There's your little fact for you, Joseph.
That is very good. Actually, it's a very good fact.
Mental. It's insane.
Madness. Absolute madness.
The people I'm not educated, but if I was in charge of the Air Force, or not in charge of it, obviously, but was a scientist in the Air Force. Say I was a private in the Air Force, and a scientist in the Air Force came up to me and went, "We're developing a gay bomb." I'd go, "I don't know, mate. I don't think that's the way it works."
Feels like it doesn't appear to pass the sort of common sense test. Just very, very immediately.
Yeah. Right. Let's get into fact check. It's the part of the podcast where we'll be reading a fact or question that you'd like us to get to the bottom of. And then we're going to have a little think during the ad break. And we'll come back and let you know how true it feels to us to decide whether it passes our fact check.
Yeah.
This week's fact check comes from Joe.
It's another Joe. What's happening now? Is this...
By the way, if you're... So is it only Joes that you're letting through now, Lily Mae? Just to be funny.
There's quite a lot of Joes sending in some interesting fact
I've not
checks.
actually seen as many Joes as I would have liked, so it's good. It's nice to see them.
There isn't as many Jameses, actually, no.
There's not as many Jameses?
I think we've got more Joe listeners than James.
I think James might be one of those names that are dying out, I think.
Is it a Gary? I don't know why it would be. It doesn't seem to... To me, it's not...
I don't see many baby Jameses. I don't see many babies, I'll be honest with you, but I don't... When one of my mates does turn up with a baby or something, I go... Oh.
I'm only letting the good Joe questions through. It's not just any old Joe.
No, of course. Not not just not Joe Public.
No.
Joe more like Joe Pesci.
The
don't know.
The standard of
definitely not.
The standard of Joes that we let through to get on is a lot. The bar's set a lot higher than the presenters of this podcast.
Yeah, you can see that it's they have to do a lot more. They have to really impress us.
That was it. Well, because the Joe and James Fact Up was already a concept. Yeah. And they're like, we're going to have to find a Joe and a James.
That's it. That's right.
And we just sort of slotted into that, didn't we?
Yeah. I said there are no other Joes.
Yeah.
Don't even look. Just call off the search.
Shall I read it, Joe, or do you want to read it? It's up to you.
I can read it.
Go on, go for it.
It's fitting that I should.
Go.
If you know what I mean.
Go
because
on.
of...
You got the same name.
Because I've got the same name, yeah.
Sure.
Okay. So, hello, lads. Can you fact check something my granddad once told me regarding the origin of the single-story house name Bungalow? I can already see that this is not true. He told me that...
Well, don't stop. We need to discuss this after.
He told me that some builders ran out of bricks halfway through building a house. And when the question, what are we going to do, was asked, one builder replied with, fuck it, let's just bung a low roof on it. My granddad was very sarcastic and full of one-liners, so there is a very good chance, that this is totally made up. But I struggled to think where else the name could have come from. Either way, I'll never forget my granddad telling me. Oh, That's nice.
Yeah.
We're gonna get on this case.
We're gonna have a little ad break, and then as soon as we're back, I'll talk about Germanic stuff.
Yeah. And we'll be back with the facts.
Joe and James, fact up.
All right, welcome back to Joe and James Fact Up. And we
Hi.
were just fact-checking on the behalf of Joe, not
Joe.
you,
No.
another Joe,
Yep.
who asked, why are bungalows called bungalows? Now, he said it was because they ran out of bricks halfway through. Someone said, what are we going to do? And a builder replied with, fuck it, let's just bungalow roof on it.
Yeah. I mean, I have to say
That is straight out of Pilkinson's
This
playbook.
is very much of the was it Lego?
Yeah.
Let go of
Let go
that.
of that.
Let go of that. Let go of that. Whatever it is. So,
well, I am going to
look.
say bungalow. So I don't know what this says about me, but I once spent an afternoon on YouTube. I can't remember the name of the channel it was, but it was someone that has some sort of degree in not ancient, but the sort of languages, the English language.
Okay, like
in
Middle English
particular.
or something.
And I was watching these videos, and they would say, "Oh, this is the phrase. What would you like for tea tonight?"
Yeah.
And this is how it would sound. I think the way it was, the concept that was actually presented to me was: imagine if you got transported back 1,000 years ago.
Yeah, and
Would
it's
you
like,
be able to communicate with
yeah, it's
people
like
in the same?
Chaucerian. Like we did a bit of Chaucer at school, and it was, it seemed a long way away from what we would. Like it felt like you were almost reading German or something.
Yeah, so it was Germanic. So it was but it was like, what would you like for tea tonight? And then it was like, this is what it would sound like in 1066, for
That's it,
example,
yeah.
because we love.
And it was all like tide, hide,
Yeah, it was like,
whale, yay, tide.
Where would you like a right? And I think that bungalow like sort of sounds like that. I just think it's a very ancient word that has carried on. I don't think a builder said, "Fuck it, let's chuck a let's bungalow roof on it."
I mean, it's this. Yeah, these builders.
Because
builders have got no access to bricks. There's no way they can send.
They ran out. They ran out.
They ran out. I mean,
that's exactly halfway.
Halfway through, and that's how it works. When you build a house,
Yeah.
you turn up with everything you need straight away,
And
you put it in a massive pile, and then if you're even one brick short, you're like, "Oh, right, that's just the whole thing of your house. There's nothing we can do."
And then the person that commissioned that house, went, "What's gone on here?"
I wanted a two-story house.
We ran out of bricks halfway through, so we bungalow roof on it.
Yeah.
He went, bungalow.
Yeah.
But I do think.
And what do you call this house? I call it fuck it, let's just. I call it fuck it, let's just do this.
I don't think it's fact, but I am interested to know where the word bungalow comes from. Because, like I say, it does sound like, when I was watching those videos, they did sound like, honestly, it did sound like they were saying bungalow over and over and over again. It was like, bungalow, bungalow.
I'm going to proffer that this is perhaps an Indian word, like pajamas, and some other ones that I've forgotten. I think it might be an import from India. That's my guess.
Queen Lily May, we throw it over to you.
Well,
it's not fact up, by the way. We've decided that
it's not true. I mean,
we should probably say we've had some suggestions. If the fact isn't right, fact off.
Fact
is
off,
most popular in our comments section.
Well, in the last episode we did about Ireland, one of the things I was looking at was like Irish insults and things that maybe aren't insults. So like, fuck off. Like if someone says to you in Ireland, it means more like you can't be serious. Like, do you know what I mean? Like, I don't know. Like,
well, it's more casual.
Oh, fuck, yeah.
Fuck off, really.
Fuck off.
Well, I thought the opposite. That they were so offended by the word fuck, which is why they say the word feck.
Ah.
Because it was like sort of your mammy would.
Okay.
She wanted to tell you to fuck off,
She
but she wasn't swearing. She was telling you to
see.
feck off.
Well, there's lots like that, aren't there? There's
Your ma and da.
you know, cheese and biscuits that Bluey's dad says is one.
I don't know, Bluey. Bluey was just that. I know what you're talking about. Bluey wasn't a thing. My kids were just before Bluey.
Bluey's a show about.
Is he Australian?
The show about a family of dogs in which the two dog parents do more good parenting in a 7-minute episode than I manage in an entire week.
That makes you feel good, doesn't
That's
it?
what Bluey's about.
Is it Australian? Are they Australian dogs?
They're Australians, yeah.
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 I was watching a video today, actually. Like on the way in, I was just like scrolling through Instagram, and I watched an Australian tell a crocodile to fuck off. There was some rope in the. They were in the sea. I think it was a saltwater crocodile, and they were on the water in a boat, and there was 2 boats connected by a rope, and I'm not 100% sure what they were trying to do, but they were trying to do something, and a crocodile came up and started like nipping at the rope, and an Australian went, "Oh, fuck off." I was like, that's the most Australian thing I think I've ever seen in my life. Telling a crocodile to fuck off. Like it go, "No, fuck you, mate. Tell me to fuck off." But we have had some suggestions if the fact isn't right. Fact off is most popular. No facts given.
It's quite good. Well, that has.
It feels complicated, that one. And unfact, which I think is boring. So
sorry.
So I think we'll
You're
have
boring,
to go...
mate.
No, I think
boring. No, fact off. I think is probably the best one.
Yeah, you're
Yeah.
boring, mate. That's what I said in a. Did I tell you about that? I said that in a road rage incident.
Oh, I quite like that as a.
I said that in a road rage incident.
Mm.
I cut someone off.
Right.
I pulled out in front of someone.
Yeah.
I was a little bit absent-minded, and I was in the wrong.
Yeah.
And I did the thing where I was like, "Oh, mate, sorry
Yeah.
about that.
Yeah.
That was my bad. I wasn't trying to have
Yeah.
an argument with someone."
Yeah.
So then, this was on the motorway, so then they pulled alongside me and undid their window and started shouting at me.
God.
And I was like, "I don't want to have an argument. There's no argument here.
Yeah.
You were right. I was wrong. There's no
Yeah,
argument here.
Honestly.
Like, I'm not going to turn around and say to you," because I get that on the other side as well, where someone does something bad to me and I'm like, "Oh, fuck off."
Mm-hmm.
And then they want to have an argument with me. And I want to
Yeah.
go, "Well, but you're in the wrong. Like, what do you want from me?"
I don't know what people think is going to come out of.
So this person started shouting at me. We're driving along on the motorway, both
Yeah.
windows down, hurling abuse at me. And I just went, "You're boring. You're boring, mate. You're boring." I don't know why I said that. That's what I went for.
I quite think it's quite good. Do you want to hear what I think about road rage? I don't think cars should have horns. They're
No,
never
they've got
used in a useful, but they're never useful. They're only ever used to express anger. Like you might as well have a button that just goes fuck, 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 fuck,
Well,
fuck.
this
Like, they're never.
So this is the argument.
And also, sometimes I'm in a traffic jam and like I can't move, and then somebody behind me will beat me, and I'm like,
Right.
what?
Yeah.
I can't do anything.
But sometimes they're like, if someone's just fucking not paying attention or whatever at a green light and you're
I
behind
know,
them.
but I've never.
So I think
like-
we should be able to have a little polite,
there should be a
option.
polite version of the horn.
a little beep beep.
but like
Just that I'm not having a go. Just it is green light. I don't want to get into a thing. I'm not
Yeah.
aggressively beeping you,
I agree.
but I'm just saying, wake up a
There
little
should
bit.
be a polite beep.
Yeah.
Like that. The beep to me, because also I just instantly panic. You can't tell where it's coming from or where it's going to.
Beep anxiety.
But it honestly is
That's,
like.
that's from Larry David. That's from
Is that what
Curb
he
Your
gets?
Enthusiasm. Yeah.
But that's what I think. Like, if I'm in a big, I always assume they're beeping at me. By the way, no, there could be like 20 cars, and
Yeah.
like, well, obviously they're beeping at me.
Yeah.
And every other person who is of my disposition
Yeah.
is also thinking the same thing.
it-
And probably the person who's actually doing something wrong is so like
Relaxed.
arrogant and
Yeah,
entitled
yeah.
that they don't think it's them anyway.
Yeah.
I do find it pointless. I just feel
No,
like it's
driving can be a bit of an anxious thing, can't it? Like,
in general,
I've got
I
a
like
problem
it, but-
with apparently the technology of
Yeah.
the siren.
Mm.
Because you remember it used to be Neenor,
But you can't tell where it's coming from.
but now it's like
Yeah,
it's like all these
yeah.
weird fucking Star Wars noises
It's so
now.
that
when
you
you
can
when you
you can tell where it is.
yeah, apparently you
Yeah.
are. I hear that.
can't,
I'm
yeah.
looking in front of me.
Yeah.
I'm looking in my rear view mirror. I'm going, where
Yeah.
the fuck is that siren
Yeah.
coming from? Because I don't know where I'm going to have to move or not.
Yeah.
I don't think the siren, this whole thing where you're supposed to tell where the siren's coming from, I don't think it's working.
Well, the horn is basically just giving normal people a form of siren that they don't need. They get and a member of the emergency services has some kind of right to disrupt and make anxious people who haven't done anything.
Yeah.
They're trying to get through.
Yeah.
Just a regular person doesn't have any right to kind of start making somebody go, what the fuck is it? Like, you shouldn't be allowed to just do that to another person.
Well, do you know what, Joe? I think you should go back to Soviet Russia.
Yeah, no, you're right.
Freedom of speech, baby.
No, it is.
If I want to toot my horn,
no, it's
then
true.
Then if you don't like it, then you can fuck off.
No, it's true actually.
Okay?
Without
freedom of speech.
Without horns, you wouldn't have the Beatles and
Exactly. We
know.
wouldn't have the Senate.
Yeah,
right.
Exactly.
What was it? So Queen Lily May. Where does Bungalow come from?
Have we decided it's fact off?
It's
firstly?
fact. It's fact off.
If it's
fact
not
off,
true, it's
and,
fact off,
it's
and
fact
this one
off.
is fact off. Great.
Can you make a note of that and remind us that when it's not fact, it is officially fact off?
Yeah. Okay. Brilliant. I will make a note of that.
That was the most popular.
Well,
Yep.
I suppose also it means that like we're a bit fact off with it because we like facts.
Yeah.
No, because I don't want to put people off.
Okay, we're not fact.
I don't want to discourage
Actually,
people.
I know I like, and also
It's very honest. That was a very honest. He was like, "Listen, I don't know if it's true." So my granddad used to say, and he used to be quite sarcastic anyway. And I want those messages to keep coming. I don't want to put people off.
And of course, I do have a feeling that the granddad, I think probably also.
He might have.
I think he might have known.
Yeah.
He may have known.
He might have been in on this one.
He may have been. Yeah.
Yeah. That is the fun thing about children. You can get them. They are little idiots.
You could tell them all sorts.
I remember for a while I was trying to convince my eldest son Harrison that I was a bank robber. Because I was like, you know how like you go to school and the other like dads like they go to work every day and stuff, and like I'm at home quite a lot, but then sometimes I disappear for a couple of months because I'm going to work or something like that.
Yeah.
And like it's because I'm bank robbing.
Yeah. Yeah. And during that period of time, like a bank robbery does happen somewhere. When I was at school, there was a boy who told everyone that his dad was going to be playing Luigi in the new Super Mario Brothers film.
Good one,
because he looked a bit like him.
Right,
That's
good.
Shall I tell you what I've done?
Queen Lily May,
Yeah.
where does bungalow? Where does that word come from?
So, Joe, you were getting pretty hot. It's a
Okay.
Bengali word.
Okay.
And it basically, let me look at the exact translation, but it comes from Bangladesh, and it derives from a Hindi word for Bangla, and basically it just means belonging to Bengal, which is obviously was back then,
Right,
but
I see.
now Bangladesh. And it basically is just what they had as their traditional low-roofed huts that they lived in.
So it's a Bengali house in a sense.
So it but it wasn't. It was the fact that the house belonged to that person.
Yeah.
It was their property.
Yeah.
And it was known as a bangla.
Mm-hmm.
Brilliant.
Lovely.
Simple.
Love that.
Yeah, very good.
Absolutely love that. Well, thank you very much, Joe, for getting in touch with us. Not you.
No, that's okay.
I wouldn't thank you for anything. But we it was fact off, sure, but we also got to the bottom. We got to the bottom of it, and it was quite interesting. So that's that. I think it's time now for Joe, not the Joe that wrote in.
Yeah.
My Joe.
Yeah.
It's your fact for the day.
Well, my fact for the day, and again, today is a random episode, but we're from Essex, aren't we?
Sure.
And
Well, I grew up there. I wasn't born there.
well, I was born in Chelmsford. And did you know that Chelmsford,
The birthplace of radio.
birthplace of radio, but here's a less auspicious fact about Chelmsford, executed somewhere between 4 and 5 times as many people for witchcraft as were executed in Salem.
Yeah.
Perhaps the most famous witch trials in the world. Chelmsford's very much, was it Hold My Beer?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah,
and
yeah. Hold my
including
drink.
15 in 1 year. There was a particular year where they were really thought they'd found a lot of witches.
Was there like a
I've
sort
spoken
of...
up for Essex a lot, but this is not Essex's best. I think Matthew Hopkins, the Witchfinder General, lived in Mistley, which is a village. I don't know why it was Essex in particular.
Because it was like the whole witchcraft thing. Witches don't exist.
No.
Right, we know, like, and I find it difficult to believe that even back then that people thought that witches existed, but it was just always code for women that were maybe too smart.
Yeah, I mean,
and were like,
I don't know. I mean, I can't work out whether people did really think this stuff or not, because you think, like,
I think it was just men who,
I'm sure it was that. I mean,
like, they'd get home,
but there
they'd
may
come
have,
home
but
from
then,
the pub and they'd have a
yeah.
wife that'd go, "Where have you fucking been?" And you're like, right,
yeah,
witch,
yeah.
she's a witch.
No, I mean, there's no doubt that it's misogyny, but I can't work out whether it's purely cynical or whether there was a kind of supernatural element to it as well.
I think it was just misogyny. Like, the more I look into sort of the, like, people being tried for witches, like, the whole thing's all just a setup. It's like and the trials would be things like, right, we're going to dunk you in this water. If you drown, you're innocent, and if you survive, you're guilty, and we'll kill you.
I mean, it's classic. Well, it is. The trial is, are you a witch? And they say no, and they go, oh, well, that's what you
that
would
proves
say.
You're a
Yeah,
witch.
it's just ridiculous. Like, and I mean, yeah, it does. That is essentially the where we would get that expression.
But it was always like
a witch hunt.
It was always like women that. I think there was one story, I can't remember the name of it exactly. I remember seeing one story, and it was a woman that who was widowed, and was basically like, well, and by the way, like, until very recent history, being a widowed woman was the worst fucking thing you could ever want to be on this planet, because you weren't allowed to have property or to own businesses and stuff like that. But she ended up basically growing vegetables or something like that, and they were quite healthy, and they had some sort of health benefits, and she became quite popular in the community where people were ill, and she'd go, oh, I've got something for that, and it was like really, really helpful. And then she started like making quite a lot of money out of it, and that was when it was that tipping point.
Yeah,
it was when she sort of started becoming self-sufficient and making money, and being quite like, not even making money, but being quite wealthy, that people start going, well, hang on a minute.
Yeah, I think that
hang on a minute.
Yeah.
And then she was done for being a witch.
Yeah, it's not always helpful to get a bit of wealth and status, because that's when you attract attention. And but yeah, so that's my fact. I mean, it's a bit of a sad fact, but
no, it's a good one.
But I
like the Essex facts. I'm very
Essex, and I'm trying to show the light and the darkness of Essex.
Absolutely.
And
absolutely, the pull and the push.
Yes.
Was that last?
No, that was this episode.
That was this episode.
Yeah.
Anyway, Joe, I don't know about you, but I am all fact out.
I mean, it barely covers it.
What have we learned today?
We've learned that
everything's constantly pulled.
Everything's constantly pulled. We've learned that.
What was my fact?
In 1994.
Oh yeah,
they thought that the best hope for peace was to make all soldiers either gay or
flatulent
or farty.
Yeah. And
they cancel each other out, so because if you were suddenly attracted to the other soldiers, but then you'd be like, but I tell you what,
that's a bit of an ick.
Yeah.
I really fancy that fella next to me, but he won't stop farting.
Yeah.
So we've learned that everything's constantly pulled. They tried to make a gay bomb in the 90s in America, by the way,
and didn't get funding. And it seems like it didn't get funding because they were like, we can't do it.
Do you know what?
It's not possible.
Yeah, no, I do. I genuinely think it was when it got to the point where trying to get funding that they were like, "Don't be so fucking stupid."
Yeah,
which sort of does give me some hope in humanity a little bit.
Yeah,
and we've also learned that bungalows, the name isn't because someone said, fuck it, let's bungalow roof on there.
No, that's
And we learned that way more witches were killed in Essex than there were in Salem.
yeah.
We hope that you've learned something or had a nice time. We'll be back next week armed with more facts, chats, and fart attacks. And don't forget that you can get in touch with us to fact check something that feels true to you, or with just whatever nonsense you want to tell us. Our email is hello@joeandjamespod.com. Our WhatsApp is 07822034330, and you can follow us on social media at Joe and James Pod. And if you've already forgotten everything that I just said just then, all that nonsense is in the podcast description. There we go. That's an episode. We're done. We're out of here. See you next week. Bye, guys. Bye-bye.
Joe and James, fact up!